Yeah, hey, we're out here. Mike Auto Deutsch, Fool's Gold. I'm here with Speedking Steve's. We're in beautiful, is it Riverside?
It's called Lake Matthews.
Lake Matthews.
We're like between Paris and Riverside, hidden in the hills.
So why are Ed and I here today to hang out with you?
I mean, mostly probably because of my looks. You know, I'm a pretty damn good looking guy, and I bring that to the table heavy. I don't know, motorcycles, man. You know, I think motorcycles and fun stuff.
How many years in the motorcycle game do you claim?
I've been full time in the motorcycle game since 2017.
Where did like Speedkings start? Why the name Speedking?
I've always been in manufacturing my whole life. So I guess the story, like,
yeah, but manufacturing meth doesn't really count.
no, it does, but it's still it's relevant though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Making things is making things.
I guess,
you know what I mean?
guess, yeah,
Yep. I'm gonna go back to meth real quick here.
You know,
Um,
it's probably not a bad idea.
It's probably making more
you probably
money
make
right
more
now.
money than motorcycles.
So when I was like 19, I worked at Daytech Center. For those who don't know, Daytech was the largest aftermarket frame manufacturer in the country. It was located in the heart of Hesperia. 200 plus employees, ran 24 hours a day. We used to make all the frames for all the big fat tire chopper stuff. That's how long ago this was. American Iron Horse, Big Dog. We made some frames for Exile, you know, all that kind of stuff ran through that facility. So that's kind of where I...
Shout out to Exile, Russell Mitchell.
That's how you start Harleys, brother. You gotta find a Chevy first. Brother. I started there in the shipping department, you know, just putting frames in boxes and swing arms in boxes and palletizing them and loading semis and shit like that. And as I got further along, I was like, man, I really want to learn how to machine. So I got transferred to the machinist department, started machining parts for a few years there. And then it kind of went through its decline when styles shifted and they didn't really want to shift. So they kind of stayed and, you know, the company kind of went away. And from there, I just was always in some sort of manufacturing, mostly steel manufacturing and fabrication, things like that. 2012 probably is when we kind of started dabbling with Speedkings. Back then, we were building old choppers. So my first bike, my first actual Harley that I owned was a 1969 Ironhead that I bought from a shop up there in Hesperia called Rip and Tear Upholstery. It was just sitting in the back of the warehouse, and I went there. Somebody kind of gave me a lead on it, and I went there, and I had like $2,000 in my pocket, and the guy's like, "I want $5,000," and I was like, "Oh shit, man!" You know, like I got two, and he's like, "All right." So we fucking threw it in my buddies. I called my buddy, "Hey, I bought this bike because I had a PT Cruiser. I couldn't put it in the PT Cruiser."
I wouldn't tell anybody that.
Oh man, PT for life, bro. Yeah. Those things are fucking badass.
Part-time loser.
So built that bike, ended up making it like a rigid hardtail. And so during that time, I was working with a buddy of mine, and he's like, "Oh, we should start a company, you know, kind of selling our used parts and everything." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool," because I had adapted a CV carburetor to that Ironhead. And so I needed a place to mount the choke. So I made a choke, you know, for the top cap, I made a little choke tab. And I used to run a CNC laser. So when I sent it over to the laser shop at that time, it was like, I can make one or I can make 100. They're not charging me anyway. So I made 100 and put kits together.
CV carb choke mount.
Yep, that's the first product we ever sold as a company, as like a branded product at Swap Meet.
Had a little most kids don't even know what a carburetor is.
No.
So your first motorcycle you owned was that Ironhead.
Yep.
What even got you thinking about motorcycles?
The kids that I grew up with, they had I couldn't tell you the year, but it had to be something in the 80s, but it was a Honda 80.
Two-stroke?
Yep. Yeah. And so we would, you know, they would rip that around. That's the first bike I ever rode. Crashed right into a creosote bush. First time I ever rode that thing. Didn't know how to fucking work it at all. I grew up riding dirt bikes, and I wanted a Harley during the Daytech days, but at that time it kind of seemed like it was unachievable. They were so much money. And yeah, so finally I got a divorce and bought a Harley. Perfect.
But you're in manufacturing.
Yep.
You like motorcycles. You got this little Ironhead. How did you decide you're going to make the leap into doing this stuff more full time?
I don't know, man. Like I said, I was in manufacturing my whole life. At the time when I took the leap to go to Speedkings full time, I was working at a sheet metal shop in Anaheim. I was a production manager. I was doing Speedkings while I'm working at the place, and I would be taking 15 bathroom breaks a day to answer emails and to do shit, you know, to try to get this going. And I was just like, there's got to be more to life than this. There's no trust fund. There's no plan B. There's just fucking work. I don't know, and I wouldn't change it for sure. I mean, I don't have a retirement. Maybe I'd change that, but.
You got a lot of broke down motorcycles.
I got a lot of broke down motorcycles.
You're doing
so
something right.
I'm really hoping FXRs are worth a lot more money in the future. I got some of the best people I've ever met in my life from this industry and stories, and I've got to travel the country.
I got one last question for you.
All right.
Where are we going to eat?
Well, I mean, hopefully this fog went away. We came in, we were going to go eat first, but
we're California motorcycle guys, man.
Yeah.
It got a little foggy.
Yeah,
and this whole riding thing got.
We might have to take the truck.
Yeah, we might take the truck.
What's the real reason why we might take the truck, though?
Because my FXR won't start?
Oh, yeah, man. It ain't all chronic and palm trees out here.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a rough day, and today's one of those
chronic
days.
and tumbleweeds.
Sushi with Speedkings Steve. I'm gonna get a bento box. Ed's gonna get some chicken teriyaki. This is gonna be great.
I'm getting the happy hour. I don't know what it is, but it's fucking happy as fuck.
Well, hey, we're back from lunch. We did all you can eat sushi, and we ate a lot of sushi, and then we had to ride home, which was kind of not the best idea.
No, it's kind of awkward actually.
We're here again with Speedkings Steve. He's got a cool shop, real big. He's got a lot of fun tools, some of them bigger than others.
Yeah.
One of them is this big. It's a Haas, right? Yeah,
Yep.
Haas. Tell us about this thing. It looks intimidating,
Oh.
Steve. There's a lot of buttons and a lot of things that
Yeah.
will kill you quickly.
So, one of the things about being in manufacturing, I want to be able to control our manufacturing as much as I could. So I bought this. It's a 2007 Haas VF3. I bought it at the end of 2022, I think, 21, one of those years. And I had to teach myself how to use it because I didn't know how to use it. So luckily I have a lot of smart people in my corner that do know how to use them. So they kind of give me pointers and stuff.
So what are some of the things you make on this thing?
We make, risers. We do our own sprocket kits. We got foot pegs. This is one of the best pieces I think we make. This is a really cool part. It's for the Evo motor. It's the stator hold down. Like usually your stator.
plug?
Yep, the plug's just, factory it's like a coat hanger, like a bent coat hanger. And a lot of dudes don't have that anymore. So usually just falls out, gets all hot and fucked up. So we make that. It's really kind of a fun piece. We make a lot of stuff though. We make triple trees. We make sprockets. This is our own sprocket. This is made out of 7075 aluminum. Oh yeah, brother. So 7075 aluminum. We do a lot of anodized stuff. Foot pegs, floorboards. So we do quite a lot of stuff. I probably have another 50, 60 designs that I just have sitting in the computer, haven't got to yet. But
So what are these? Going to be floorboards?
those are going to be mini floorboards.
That's right. Yeah. So you just get a big piece of
Yep.
aluminum. You cut it up into little pieces of aluminum.
Exactly.
It gets chucked up in the machine.
Yep. So I have a saw here. So sometimes I'll buy big bars and I'll cut it myself.
Yeah.
Other times when I already know the size I need, I just have the company cut it for me and deliver it already cut. When I do risers and stuff, since I don't really sometimes I'll just kind of make the risers to order. I'll just keep bars on hand and it's cut the riser lengths that I want. But yeah, and then pretty much just cuts it all up and then spits all the chips out. And then I have a recycle company that comes pick up the chips and gives me lunch money.
It's pretty cool.